if you get out of your comfort zone, maybe you quit your job and you don't have that steady paycheck coming in anymore, it forces you to become an entrepreneur and to figure out how to actually make money online. That was one of the main things that I had to discover how to do once I moved to Thailand, because I really had no other option. If I wanted to stay here long term, I had to figure out how to make money online. And it basically lit a fire under my butt. And when push came to shove, I just had to figure things out as I went along. And obviously, it hasn't always been easy. I've had to experiment with a lot of different things over the years. But once you find one income stream online that is profitable, then you can just continue doing that one and pick up other ones along the way. Hey there, welcome to the channel. Greetings from Koh Samui. In this video, I wanted to go over 3 of the most common options that you can use for generating an income while living in Thailand. These range from easy to medium to advanced level difficulty, and it's just going to depend on what your risk aversion is like and ultimately what sort of experience you have already. Number 1 is just going to be to get a remote job, right? This is, I would say, probably the easiest and safest option for a lot of you people out there if you're watching this. And it's ultimately going to come down to, if you've already been working for a company, you've got the resume and the experience to back it up. That's going to make things a lot easier in terms of finding a remote job. Obviously, there's a lot of remote job boards out there already, including LinkedIn. That would be my recommendation for, the easiest way to find a remote job. And also, if you're already working for a company, let's say in your home country, could be Canada, United States, Australia, UK, wherever, you can just sit down with your boss and have an open, transparent conversation with him. Bring some of the benefits to the table of working remotely from Thailand. For example, you don't even necessarily have to tell them that you're working from Thailand per se. You could just say, I want to work remotely from another country, and you don't have to be very specific about where that is. But if you're on good terms with your boss, I would just be, honest with him and say, I've been working here for X number of years. You can see that I'm already capable of, showing up on time, getting the work done, and those sorts of things. And yeah, I think in most cases they would be open to it, even if it's just, to start out with maybe a month trial, 2 months, and see if you're able to still get the work done remotely from Thailand. Pretty much the only thing that could be challenging is the time zone difference. Let's say you're working for US company on their time zone. That's going to be a bit challenging because you're going to have to work typically at night over here, and your sleep cycle could potentially get all messed up and these sorts of things. But I have a friend, my neighbor, he's working for 3 different universities in Canada from Samui, and he's been doing this for years now. So he basically just has to work in the evening time, and that's it. He's been able to do this for, at least 2 years now, and he still works for all of the universities, no issue whatsoever. So yeah, it's definitely possible. For me personally, that isn't something that I'd want to do, just because I like to stick to a consistent sleep cycle and get 8 hours of sleep every night. And I usually like to wake up early in the morning as well, because I have to drop my fiance off at work, and then I'll usually just go for a nice walk on the beach, typically go to the gym as well. And I just like to have that consistency. But if you're getting a really nice salary working remotely for a company, I can see why that would be enticing for a lot of people. But at the same time, it is getting more and more risky, I would say, to have a remote job, because you could easily be fired at the drop of a hat. You don't really have the job security that you once had. And also, AI is replacing a lot of these jobs at a faster and faster pace, because basically AI can do things cheaper, faster, and better. And I don't see any reason why that wouldn't continue accelerating. If anything, more and more companies are going to start laying off. You hear reports about Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, probably Oracle. A lot of the tech companies are laying off people in droves, and it's because of the advancements in AI. So I would recommend, finding something that you can do on your own terms, and that will allow you the location freedom to basically live and work from wherever you want, and you're not beholden to a boss telling you what to do day in, day out. For me personally, that's never been all that appealing. And yeah, so the second option is do something freelance. Either start your own agency or go to a website like Upwork or Fiverr where you can find freelance jobs, and just start putting out proposals to businesses and individuals, offering them some type of service, or it could even be a product that you're selling, and just make the pitch. The challenging part about this is that you're going to have to find all of your own clients yourself, unless you want to, let's say, use an AI automation, for example, to do a lot of this stuff for you, or you could hire some virtual assistants in the Philippines, for example, pay them $5 to $7 an hour, and they could basically go through Upwork and send out the proposals for you. I've tried Upwork on multiple different occasions, and I've really never been successful with it. I think it's a little bit low-hanging fruit, and it is quite difficult to find freelance work on there unless you already have the reviews and experience and the background to back it up, essentially. It is quite difficult, in my personal experience, to find freelance work on Upwork, but I know plenty of people who are successful with it. And if you are consistent and, just putting in the work, maybe an hour a day for a couple weeks, you should be able to line up freelance jobs through a thing like Upwork. Or you could also just, let's say, launch your own school community, which I've just recently done for building out AI automations, selling and providing value inside that community. It's completely free to join, which means that I'm able to get email addresses of everybody, all new members that join the community, and then I can basically just upsell them on different digital products inside the school community. So I find this is one of the best ways now to grow a community and actually start monetizing your knowledge. Another thing you could do is you could start your own Facebook group and just start inviting friends to join that Facebook group. It could be around some sort of topic that you're already interested in. Mine is just called Escape the Rat Race and Move Abroad to Asia. I've got about 16,000 people in that group, and just recently it started growing really, really fast because I've been making posts in my Facebook page and then funneling them into the Facebook group. So I think I've gained like 100 new members just in the past day. All of a sudden it's been starting to blow up. But yeah, once you've got the Facebook group, then you can start offering value in there and ultimately getting people on calls. Eventually, once you've been doing it for a while, you can start charging for your calls, like $100 per hour for consultation calls, and you can even provide some type of high ticket service like a coaching program. I have one that's 6 weeks long, basically helping people get their online income stream set up so that they can feel comfortable moving over to Thailand, because this is one of the most common questions that I get asked from people, is like, how are you actually earning an income? Is it online? Are you working for a company over there? And to be honest, I have actually worked for 3 different Thai companies over the past 5 years, 2 of them for 1 month, and the latest one was for 1 year. The downside was I wasn't getting a salary, so it was commission only basis. And after about a year of doing that, I had nothing to show for it, really. I was able to learn some new skills, but I wasn't actually getting paid for my work. So it's basically like an exchange for the work permit through the Board of Investment over here. And eventually I just decided, this is not working. I really have nothing to show for all this work that I put in over a year. And I just said, okay, I quit. Enough is enough. And, based on my personal experience, I would not recommend working for a Thai company because they're often very cheap. They're skinflints, and it's just you're going to be putting in a lot of work for very little to show for it. That's just been my personal experience. It is nice because they provide you with the work permit, and that will allow you to stay here long term. But there's also a lot of other visas out there to choose from, including the Smart Visa, the new DTV visa. They've also got an LTR visa. And yeah, that's one of the nice things about living in Thailand is they have a lot of different visa options to choose from. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, just let me know in the comments below. I've made a lot of videos going over the different visa types over here as well, which you're welcome to check out. And that brings me to point number 3, is making money online. I would say this is the best option for living over here long term, because that way you don't have to worry about, you know, where the money's coming from. It's most likely going to be foreign earned income, which you can then transfer into your bank account over here. And that provides you the freedom and flexibility to set your own hours. You can basically just work whenever you want. Let's say as a content creator, as I've been doing for many years now, both on the YouTube side and then also the Facebook page, they pay me every single month. And that's typically just tax withholding. So I don't even necessarily have to pay taxes on that. It's taken out automatically, and then I can just transfer it over to my bank account here. Typically, I'll get payouts to Wise, which is an online banking system, and they have very small fees. So once you transfer to another bank account, you're paying a very small fee. But it will take years, months, if not years, to actually make this a sustainable income, and it's going to require a lot of persistence and consistency over time, posting almost every single day, as I have been for years. And you're not going to really be making very much unless you're getting millions of views every single month on your content. For me, like this month, I generated about 3.5 million views on Facebook. And then on the YouTube side, it's significantly lower, and I've also got a lot fewer subscribers over here. So I'm not making as much on YouTube as Facebook, but it is really pretty consistent. Every single month, I'll make around 15 to 20, sometimes 25,000 baht per month. And that's a pretty decent amount since the cost of living's a lot lower over here. Even in an expensive place like Koh Samui, which is, you know, one of the more expensive places to live in the entire country, you can still have a pretty good quality of life just by doing things online. And that way you also don't really have to worry about having a work permit, because technically you're not working for a Thai company. You are working remotely still for a company, in this case based in the US. Both Facebook and YouTube are based in the US. And yeah, that just makes things a lot easier. And then you can save up money over time, which will allow you to, you know, travel more. Let's say if you want to travel around to different countries in Southeast Asia. I've been to Vietnam twice now. I've been to Philippines. I've been to Malaysia a couple times as well. So it's really pretty easy to travel around from here, and then you can become a digital nomad, or you could just, you know, have a home base here in Thailand. That's what I prefer to do, is just to have a home base, and then I can obviously travel around from here. And that's another nice thing as well about having some sort of online income, is you can basically make the posts wherever you go. Like let's say if I go to Philippines for a couple weeks, I can make posts and put them up on Facebook and YouTube while I'm over there, and then I can monetize those as well, essentially through the ads that are running on my videos. And then I can also get people into my email list as well. So I did have a free newsletter for quite a while. I decided to finally just shut that down because it wasn't really bringing in more clients. Wasn't really able to monetize it all that well. So I just decided to stop providing free value in the newsletter, and I've switched things over to this new school community, which allows me to collect emails as well automatically. They get put into a spreadsheet. I can send out offers to that email list as well, and it's on a topic that pretty much everybody is talking about these days, which is AI and automations to save time and money for your business. And nice thing about that is it's already profitable. I've made over $500 just in the past couple days through the school community. I'm just going to continue scaling that up over time. Another nice thing about school is that they provide the marketplace. So once your community is discoverable on school, that means millions of people can find it. My community is already on page 6 in the tech category. So that makes it really easy to find, and I don't have to do a ton of marketing. I am potentially going to start running some Facebook ads to that relatively soon, just because I think it's going to grow like crazy. I don't see any reason why it's not going to. And then I can just get people in there. I highly recommend school over a Facebook group because it's much easier to monetize, and you can also just charge on a monthly basis. So it could be $19, $49, $197 a month, whatever price point you want to set. And then people have to pay that every single month to be inside your community. In fact, there's one guy on there, he is the #1 earner on school. And supposedly, I don't know if it's actually true or not, he's making $300,000 per month on school just by offering a community that also is doing AI automations. He also has a YouTube channel with 120,000 subscribers on it, and he is absolutely killing it on school, and he just charges monthly. I think he's got about 2,800 members in the community, and he's charging $184 per month. So you do the math, that's over $300,000 a month. Obviously, for most people, they're not going to be making nearly that much, but with enough consistency, just like anything, you can do anything you set your mind to. And I would say, if you get out of your comfort zone, maybe you quit your job and you don't have that steady paycheck coming in anymore, it forces you to become an entrepreneur and to figure out how to actually make money online. That was one of the main things that I had to discover how to do once I moved to Thailand, because I really had no other option. If I wanted to stay here long term, I had to figure out how to make money online. And it basically lit a fire under my butt. And when push came to shove, I just had to figure things out as I went along. And obviously, it hasn't always been easy. I've had to experiment with a lot of different things over the years. But once you find one income stream online that is profitable, then you can just continue doing that one and pick up other ones along the way. So for me, it started out as, I launched the YouTube channel. And then after about a year, I was able to finally make my first dollar on YouTube. That was one of the most exciting moments that I can remember. And then it became more of a hobby and actually turned into a full-time online business. And this is something I can do anytime I want. Anytime I want to create a YouTube creator, I just pick up my portable camera, I shoot the video from wherever I'm at. For a long time, it was just like doing walking tours on the beach or going to Chaweng and showing what the nightlife's like. Those are still some of my most popular videos on the channel over many, many years. I think my most popular video now has 100,000 views, and all I'm doing is walking around Chaweng at night showing what the scene is like. And that one, I think, so far has brought in over 20,000 baht in about a year, just from a single video. So after that point, it's just a matter of making more popular content that does well. And if you have any questions for me about any of this stuff, feel free to drop a comment down below. And you can also check all of my links in the description. I've got a 6-week coaching program as well, teaching how to basically start generating income online, or let's say you want to find a remote job or start some sort of freelancing business or agency. All of these are good options, and yeah, I recommend getting started the sooner the better. If you could get some sort of online income, ideally before you leave your home country and come over to Thailand, that's even better. That's, one of the mistakes that I made before I moved over here was I didn't really have much savings at all. And I was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And if I had it to do over again, I would have gotten the online income going first before I moved over here. But I enjoyed the challenge of just figuring things out as I went along, like I say, flying by the seat of my pants. And it forced me to become very adaptable and more creative as well, just to figure things out. if you want to shortcut your way to success, then I would recommend booking a consultation call with me. It's $100 for an hour, and you can find that on my website. That way we can just kind of go through and do some brainstorming and explore your different options, figure out what you're good at and what sort of business would work best for you. And that will just save you a lot of time with all the experimenting and trying to throw a bunch of different things at the wall to see what sticks. So yeah, you're welcome to schedule a call with me. Would love to have a chat with you. And let me know what sort of questions you have in the comments. And with that being said, take care, stay safe. Peace from Thailand. I'll see you in the next one. Signing off.